Alright, let us learn how to solve quadratic equations by finding factors. We know the general form of a quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So here the given problem is solve 2x square minus 13x plus 15 equal to 0. That is, the question is for what value of x? For what value of x, this whole expression 2x square minus 13x plus 15 becomes 0. That's what we are going to learn. So if it was a linear equation, unlike this quadratic with the degree 2, if you have a linear equation, the basic one, like if I have 2x minus 5 equal to 17 and you are asked to find the value of x is how much? What is the value of x for which 2x minus 5 equal to 17? You know that you have to add 5 on both sides to cancel out that negative 5, and then you got 2x is equal to 17 plus 5, that is 22. Then you will divide both sides by 2 because 2x is equal to 22. I need only one x, therefore I divided by 2 on both sides. So 2 and 2 cancel. Here 2 can divide 22 11 times, hence x is equal to 11. That's the value of x in this linear equation. You can even verify if this is the right answer by substituting the value of x in the given linear equation, like 2 times 11, 2 times that is x is 11, 2 times 11 minus 5 equal to 17. Check. 2 times 11 is 22. 22 minus 5 equal to 17. That's right. Your answer is correct. So, if it is a linear equation with the degree 1, that is as simple as this. You can solve it directly. But our task is to solve a quadratic equation with a degree 2. So, the first thing is this big expression 2x square minus 13x plus 15 must be factorized. We must try to write this expression as a product of two factors, and definitely those two factors are going to be linear expressions. And once you have your linear expressions, you can change them to those linear equations and solve those two. But how do you find the factors of this expression? How do we do this? Okay, in order to find the factors of 2x square minus 13x plus 15, first thing I'll compare it with the general form of a quadratic equation. Alright, you have here this a is equal to 2 and b is equal to negative 13 and c is equal to 15. Let me write here a is equal to 2, b is equal to negative 13 and c is equal to 15. So you compared with the general form of a quadratic equation, and those are the things you got. Now, we should find the product of a and c. So what is the product of those two numbers? 2 times 15. Even I'm talking about this. 2 times 15 is equal to 30, right? So first I have to find the product of those two numbers, which is 2 times 15. Both are positive numbers and the product is again positive 30. Now, very important step. That is, we have to look for two numbers whose product is equal to 30. But on adding those two numbers, you should get this number b, which is negative 13. Negative 13 over here. Let me write what I said just now. That is, I am looking for two numbers. First number a blank times another number. On multiplication of those two numbers, I should get 30. Not only this, if I say this, you can just tell, oh, this is 2 times 15, 30 is my answer. No. The second condition to be satisfied is adding those two numbers. On adding whatever you write here, on adding them both, my sum of those two must be equal to negative 13. Very, very important. See, once again, let me go back. This 30 is obtained from 2 times 15. You got this number 30. And the factors of this 30, on adding, I must get negative 13. So, we have to find some pairs of numbers whose multiplication, that is, whose product gives you 30 and whose sum is going to be negative 13. Now, right away, what are the factors of 30? We know 30, just now we said 2 times 15 equal to 30, but 2 plus 15 gives you 17. 2 plus 15 is 17, which is not equal to negative 13. So I cannot write 2 and 15 over here. Okay, so that is ruled out. Now the next factors of 30, I can see that 3 can divide 30 10 times, right? 3 times 10 is 30. And adding those two factors, 3 plus 10 gives you 13. But we are looking for negative 13. The sum of those two factors must be equal to negative 13. Like this negative 13 here, the b value is negative 13. Okay, so can I produce negative 13 from these two numbers without disturbing positive 30? Yes, of course you can. Because this 3, I can write it as negative 3. And this 10 also I can write as negative 10. And negative 3 times negative 10. Negative times negative, it is positive. 3 times 10 is 30. Yeah, you are right. And add those two numbers, negative 3 on adding with the negative 10. They both have the same sign, negative, and adding 3 plus 10 gives you negative 13. So, both the conditions are fulfilled. We could get those two numbers, negative 3 times negative 10, which gives you positive 30, and the negative 3 plus negative 10, on adding those two, you got negative 13. So, this important step is done. Okay, so once you have this, you can go ahead and find the factors. There are two ways of finding the factors. One is using distributive property, and the other, basically we call it as a box method, which is very easy. So let us use a box method to find the factors of that expression. Now we have a box here. Alright, in this box, the first term, and of course this is a rectangular box and it is divided into 4 parts. Alright, the first term is going to be, in this first box I will write 2x square, and in the last box it is going to be 15. the first and last terms are considered. You got 2x square in the first and 15 in the last one. Now, in the second and third boxes, we have to fill in those two numbers which when added must give you this 13x only, because that's what we need here. Already we considered, we have taken 2x square and 15, leaving behind negative 13. So where do you have to write negative 13x? Either second box or third. So no, you don't have to leave off anything, but you have to distribute that negative 13 between those two, which is done from these two numbers which you talked just now. We discussed about how to get those two numbers, negative 3 and negative 10. You see, negative 13 is consisting of negative 3 and negative 10. Adding those two numbers, you got negative 13. Of course, you also have x here. Therefore, I'll write negative 3x minus or negative 10x. It is just the same. So, adding those two, 3x, negative 3x and negative 10x is nothing but negative 13x. So, we didn't change any of these terms. We are copying as it is, but only for our convenience, we broke down that negative 13x as negative 3x and negative 10x. Now, let us look for the factors. Let us go and separate them. Like I'm seeing here 2x square and there negative 3x. So, between 2x square and 3x, we see that x is a common factor. Right? So, let me write this 2x square as 2x times x. 2x times x is 2x square only. And the negative 3x, I can write it as negative 3 times x. Alright. Now we have to continue the same process for the next two terms. Like here I have negative 10x and there 15. So the common factor, in fact the greatest common factor between those two numbers is of course 5. 5 can divide 10 and 5 can also divide 15. Therefore we can take out 5 as a common factor. But while writing 5 times that number over here, 5 times 2x, there is a negative sign, negative 10x. I have to take that also into consideration. And this 2x which is there, I am trying to write it again here. So 2x times, it is only negative 5. 2x times negative 5 gives me negative 10x. So negative 10x is written as 2x times negative 5. Okay. Now let us go to the last box here. 15. 15, we already know that it is 3 times 5. So do I just have to write 3 times 5? Of course, you can write 3 times 5 which is equal to 15. But to serve our purpose here, we have to write this 3 as a negative 3 because negative 3 and a negative 3. So let me put negative 3 over here. And there I have negative 5 as a factor in the previous box. So here also I'll put negative 5. Let us check again. Negative 3 times negative 5 is giving you positive 15. We didn't change the value 15 here. Likewise, in all the boxes, everything looks good. Like 2x times x, 2x square, that's good. Now, negative 3 times x, negative 3x, wonderful. Now, 2x times negative 5, that is negative 10x, that's right. Now, same way, negative 3 times negative 5, everything looks good. Now, go for the common factors and separate them like this. Over here I am seeing x and x. X is the common factor between the first and second boxes, so that x is taken out. I am writing x outside. Okay, this x is removed, and as a common factor you have taken it out. Now in the third and fourth boxes, -5 and -5. So take that -5 out. It is written there. Now what is left here? You have 2x in the first box and again 2x in the third box, which is the common factor between them. So that comes up over here. That is 2x. And in the other two boxes, -3 and -3. That common factor comes here. Alright. Okay. Now from this rectangular box, each and every term is separated and factorized, and you are left with what? 2x minus 3 and there x minus 5. Those are the two linear expressions which are the factors of the given quadratic equation 2x square minus 13x plus 15. So you can either write this one first or x minus 5 first. Anything is fine. So let me go ahead and write x minus 5, this x minus 5 times 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. Now using zero property, that is, whenever you have the product of two terms, for example, if you have x times y is equal to 0, then either x equal to 0 or y equal to 0. Alright, so using that concept here, we have x minus 5 times 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. So I can write either x minus 5 equal to 0 or 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. After writing this, we have to solve for x. Now, both of them are linear equations, which is the easiest part here in this problem. Just add 5 on both sides, cancel out this -5, +5. So you got x is equal to 0 plus 5, which is equal to 5. And in this second equation, 2x minus 3 equal to 0. I'll add 3 on both sides so that -3 got cancelled there. You are left with 2x is equal to 3. 2 times x equal to 3. So divide of 2 on both sides. You got x is equal to 3 over 2. So this is another value of x. First value of x is equal to 5 and the second one is -3 divided 2. And we can verify whether these values are correct by going back and substituting these values of x in the given equation. So here we substituted x is equal to 5. That is, this x is replaced by 5 and so you got 2 times 5 square minus 13 times 5 plus 15, and using calculator you got your answer 0. And in the same way, substituting the next value for x, which is 3 over 2, so you got 2 times 3 divided 2 whole square minus 13 times 3 over 2 plus 15 is also equal to 0. Hence, the solution for this quadratic equation is x equal to 5. I'll write 5 here. X equal to 5, comma 3 divided 2. You can either write 5 comma 3 over 2, or you can also write x equal to this smaller number first, 3 over 2 comma 5. Either way it is fine. Alright, thank you.